I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we picked up when we picked up the Thrive 15 team was an entire team. You want an SEO guy that knows things about search engine optimization? Got it. You got a website guy that's built big websites like Garth Brooks' website? Awesome, we have it. He's coming in. If I had to pay for that on my own, outside of Thrive 15, there's just no way. For us, one of our most immediate needs when I got connected with Clay was technology. We had a website, but I had a website in Tulsa. Our other partner had a website in Colorado. They did everything from doing a drone video where they flew over all of our markets with a drone. They integrated that into our site. They built every single thing that I think of, they do. We do a podcast. If I was gonna produce my own podcast, there's no, I mean, that alone, just that alone would be what I pay Thrive, just for that. But then if you add the fact that I've got, if I need a business card design, if I need a website build, if I need this, if I need that, I know what I would pay for that. If I had to go a la carte, I feel guilty sometimes, like I don't probably write a big enough check for the value that I get. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that have ideas what they want to do with their business and how they want to grow and what market they want to be in and how they can increase production and do all this. But it's not about having 4,000 ideas. It's about having 12 and executing them 4,000 times. That's the trick, in my opinion, and that's where Thrive's value comes in. I feel like I have my own staff, my own, like, I don't know, 20-person team that when I need something, I just go to them and it happens.
Focus. The phrase focus, what does it mean? I think the word focus means focus on core tasks until success. That's what I think it means, is focus on core tasks until success. Now, how do you focus? Well, this is my take on it. I'm telling you folks what I would recommend you would do if you were a client of mine or a friend of mine. They say, well, I'm having a hard time gaining traction with my business. I would say, well, step one, you have to focus. And they would say, focus on what? I'd say, that's a great question. Then my little subpoints, my 3 subpoints, I would tell somebody, you have to obsess on the key performance indicators. You have to obsess on those key performance indicators, the things that will move the needle. The second is you've got to say no to grow. There's things that are good ideas, but they're not your key performance indicators. They're not your revenue producing activities. And then the third thing I would say is you got to be present. Being present is a present. What? Yeah, in a world of perpetual distraction, being present is a present. I think a lot of people, we're half paying attention to what we're doing while we're driving a car, while updating social media. We're at the airport having a half conversation with somebody while we're on our phone. We're checking out at a line at a grocery store while we're trying to update our app. There's a lot of perpetual distraction. I want to talk about how to gain traction in the world of business with a guy who is obsessively focused on introducing thousands and thousands of franchisees to the opportunity of being self-employed. Peter Taunton, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
My man, I'm great. How you doing?
Well, I know that for you, it might get old repeating your bio, but for our listeners who are hearing you for the first time, can you share with us just a little kind of a little 30-second sneak into a look into your resume up to this point, sir?
Yeah, look, I grew up, I'm not a trust fund baby. I grew up poor and quit college. So I always say if I was a stock, you would have shorted me. But I never lacked work ethic. And to your point earlier, focus. And so for me, I've had a great run within the franchise. I got a break with a business about 40 years ago, developed that into a brand that sold it. And then I got into franchising, and the rest is history. Look, I've built 3 brands, all in the fitness space, growing them to thousands and thousands of locations, literally 4,000 locations worldwide, 28 countries. And now that's what I do. I focus on building great franchise brands, but more importantly, building great people, helping people find their way to down the path of financial freedom, whatever that looks like through their lens. So that's where I get my joy. I get to wear, crazy tie-dye t-shirts like this, and I work from my home, and this is what I do literally most of the day. I jump from one of these to the next, helping people find the light.
Now, with your brands, again, a lot of people want to Google you. They want to look you up there. Could you share with us the names of the brands that you've helped to build and the brand you're working on right now, just so that people can, again, look you up and verify you're not a hologram?
No, right on. So look, my first brand that I started was Snap Fitness, which is a fitness brand that's in that in its own right is in 16 different countries. I think we have about 1,600 of that product. I've got another product called 9 Round, which is a boxing concept. That's in a few different countries. And the third one is called Fitness on Demand. And that is a virtual workout. If you go into any Marriott hotel, actually many of the different places that you probably go to where you see virtual exercise, you probably don't even know it's my product because it's a license arrangement. But I literally have 3,000 licenses around the world in different places like Marriott and some great, unbelievable brands. But once again, it's finding a niche, creating a product, and answering the bell to what some people need.
Now, you're working on NauticalBowls.com. It's a franchise concept that you're working on, and you're opening up locations all over the country. But I want to get back into this focus concept for a second. The idea of focus. I just see a lot of people that are perpetually distracted. They're always looking around. They have a new good idea, an idea of they want to write a new book. They want to start a new business. They got a new product. They got a new service. They got a new idea, and they just never, ever gain traction. Meanwhile, those that do gain traction, and I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just giving people facts. According to usdebtclock.org, which, by the way, folks, that's a great website to go to if you want to get depressed this time of year. You just go to usdebtclock.org. It's a great way to take the room down. By the way, if you want to make your holiday awkward, just pull up usdebtclock.org and look at that thing. But you have basically 9 million self-employed people in our country right now. Now, again, this data is pulled in from all different aggregators, all different sites, but this is usdebtclock.org. And you see there's 9 million self-employed people. Now, Inc. magazine shows you that, 96% of businesses fail within a 10-year period of time, according to Inc. magazine. And other research, sites will show you similar data. And so what that means is if you're in a church building, let's say today, in a church or a conference, and you have 1,000 people in the room, only 1 out of those 1,000 people will be a quote unquote successful entrepreneur. Think about it. So folks, when you're hearing from Peter Taunton, I mean, this is like a 1 out of 1,000 conversation. I would argue with his success, it's 1 out of 1,000,000 conversation. So I want you to really take notes and focus in on what he's saying here. Okay. So when you look at the success, I mean, this is like you're getting I'd say it's like a 1 out of 1,000,000 conversation. You're sitting down having a mentorship session with somebody who's a 1 out of 1,000,000 here. So let's get into focus. The first thing you have to do is you got to focus on your key revenue producing activities. Some people call this KPIs, key performance indicators. Some have different names for it, but there's certain things. So if I bought a Nautical Bowls franchise today, what are the things that I would have to focus on every single day if I want my Nautical Bowls franchise to become successful?
And you know what, you bring up a great point there, Clay. Look, one of the things that you can find comfort in is that we've taken a lot of the guesswork out of it. Number one, the product. You can't build a brand without a great product. You can't do it. So first of all, we've got a product. We created the ambiance, so the look and feel of the store. We train the people on how you give an enhanced guest experience when they walk into your store. All right. Then there's that piece that now, what are the material? What are the things that you need to do? Assuming we've got all those other things covered for you, you've got to get out there. You talk about it all the time, your Dream 100. You got to bring your business to the people. And I think that's a lot of time people don't understand the effort that it takes to be successful. It's very easy to become an entrepreneur. It's still very difficult to become a successful entrepreneur. Okay. And successful entrepreneurs, they focus on today's key topic, KPI. Okay. What are the key performance indicators? What are the material things? Hey, Peter, what are the 3 or 4 things that I need to do if I'm running a Nautical Bowls to become successful? And that's what we do. And any great franchise out there that's had any moderate success at all, I promise you, one of the things that they've been able to do is break it down and say, look, don't get bogged down in the minutia. Focus on these 3 or 4 things. Do these 3 or 4 things every day. And when you get up tomorrow, do them again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And so many times when I see people that are struggling, It's because they try to do too many things, and so many of those things are non-material, non-movers. And pretty soon they wake up one day and they're like a dog chasing their tail. They don't have any traction. Why? Because they've spread themselves too thin, focusing on items that don't move the needle. That's a big mistake that a lot of people make.
Now, on part 2 of today's show, we're going to introduce our listeners to a longtime client of mine named Tim. And Tim just sold his business for, we'll say, a lot of money. So, you know, it's one of these wonderful exits. We've helped him grow his photography company, and he just sold his company. And he's going to talk about the Dream 100. Now, notice he's not on payroll for NauticalBowls.com. He has a wedding photography business. And so Tim reached out to me and he says, Clay, I want to double the size of my wedding photography business. And I said, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it. Now, the thing about Tim, his business, which was so much harder than owning a Nautical Bowls, is he had to build this thing from scratch. He had no systems, no processes. He was just a guy who's very good at photography. And he had to build everything from scratch. So when he met me, he had built a system, but it was all in his head. So it was, you had to scale that out. And so he'll talk about these systems on part 2 of today's show. But this guy had been in business for 30 years before he met me. And I would argue if you buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, you kind of skip ahead 30 years. I mean, all of a sudden, boom, right away, you've got the system there. So let's say you buy a Nautical Bowls franchise. They're going to give you a checklist and all the processes and systems you have to do. But now when you know what to do, you're going to have to say no to grow. Because the chances are you're probably not doing nothing today. And according to Nielsen, I'm sure none of our listeners would do this, but the average person now, according to Nielsen, they're spending 11.3 hours per day consuming media content. 11.3 hours per day. The average American is spending 11.3 hours per day. Folks, that is a full-time job plus 3 hours for most people per day, consuming random ass content that has no relevance to their lives, to their success. You say, well, what kind of content are they watching? I'll tell you what content they're watching. They're going up here and they're like, did you hear about The Rock? And they go, what do you mean The Rock? I heard about The Rock. What do you mean The Rock? I heard about Dwayne. What's he doing? I heard he might run for president. Is Dwayne Johnson running for president? Okay, well, you get to have one vote. So you can go out there and vote for Dwayne Johnson if you want to, or Trump if you want to. I'm a libertarian, more of a conservative, so who I'll vote for. But all I'm saying is I see people that get hung up on this. They go, oh my God, I can't believe it. Is he running a run? Is he not getting? I don't know. You hear Taylor Swift is coming to town? Oh, I heard she's coming to town. Oh, how much are the tickets? I don't know. Did you get a ticket? I'll get a ticket. Hey, by the way, did you see the fantasy football team? The fantasy football team, and the word fantasy would imply it's a fantasy. The fantasy football team, did you see there's a guy on the Chiefs, and he's an unbelievable draft pick. He's a phenomenal. I got to get this guy. You got to get this guy, Taylor Swift. The Rock's running. Oh, my God. Holy crap. And meanwhile, their actual lives aren't that great. However, I would suggest that you would want to build a life so awesome that you wouldn't want to escape from it with a vacation. I would recommend you build a life where every single day feels like a vacation, where you could live the Peter Taunton life. So what I would like to ask you about is saying no to grow. Just what kind of stuff do people just have to say no to? Because you sit down with literally thousands of entrepreneurs. What kind of stuff do people have to just stop doing if they want to grow a successful Nautical Bowls franchise or any other kind of business?
There's so many times, and you know what? I hate to be when I'm working with clients, I hate to be the one to throw the wet blanket on their dream. But part of my job is to evaluate their business, the direction of where they're going, and then come to a conclusion. Can you monetize it? And there's so many times people they're chasing these pet projects, these pet hobbies of them. And I tell them, look, I love it, but what's going to bring home the bacon for you? What's going to support your lifestyle? Because today you're doing this as a side hustle. And thank God it's a side hustle, because you're not generating any revenue from it. As soon as you quit your day job, your revenue dries up. And then this passion project that you have is, look, it's not going to yield revenue. It's either it's far too technical, or you're the only one that thinks it's interesting. It's not in high demand. Look, these are real life problems that people face. And I tell you what, a business, it's got to have legs. It's got to be simple enough for people to understand it. It's got to be scalable enough, which means, because if you have a great business, it's got to scale. If you can't scale it, then you have no trajectory. It's that simple. So there's a lot of different boxes that I need to check with people before I square their shoulders off to the target and say, now we're ready to launch.
You know, I really, really enjoy recording music, and it doesn't pay me at all. And occasionally I'll have songs that will take off. Like I'll have a couple songs where, you know, have 1 million views or 500,000 views. And then someone's like, oh man, you should do more of those. Well, the thing is, it doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't feed me. So today I'm working on a vacation rental property project I'm working on today. And I've got to go through the website and analyze every word on the website and make sure it's pithy and it's clicky and it's sticky and it's catchy and you want to click it. And I've got to make sure that the price of the vacation rental is priced at the right price so it's competitive. I've got to look up all of the things to do and see in the nearby area. I've got to build the About Us page for this particular property. And I would rather be recording music. But in order to get this particular property up and running for one of my clients, which produces revenue for me, I have to say no to grow. I've got to say no to grow. And so I'm saying no. Now, again, my reward is that I get to focus on music and things like that and not have to worry about monetizing it. But I know there's somebody out there. You are a starving artist. You are a struggling musician. You are trying to hand carve boats and sell them as your occupation. And I would encourage you to look at Nautical Bowls or a proven system as opposed to trying to reinvent the wheel while selling a square wheel that the world doesn't want. Now, the next area is you got to be present. Being present is a present. Now, what I find is during Thanksgiving, none of our listeners would do this, but a lot of families, they get together and they go, hey, it's good to see you, Carl. Carl, it's good to see you. Hey, Sarah, it's good to see you. And they got the phone here. Sarah, good to see you. Yeah, good to, yeah, what? And then dinner begins. Okay, guys, Thanksgiving dinner. Carl, what do you want? You want turkey or ham? And Carl says, yeah. And no one's paying attention. And then they're like, guys, gather in. Let's get a photo. So then Carl takes out the camera and he says, all right, get in here. He takes a photo and it's like spending quality time with family, escaping the grind. And he puts a photo up and you're there with Carl. And you're like, Carl, you didn't say 2 words to me the entire weekend, but yet you just posted a photo of you spending time, away from the grind. And then the people at the gym, they also know him. And they know that Carl, he's at the gym posting, I'm on my grind. I'm at the gym. And he's not on this grind at the gym because he's half walking on the treadmill, not lifting any weights, not focusing, Can you help somebody be present here, Peter? What would you say? I believe being present is a present. What are your thoughts?
100%. Being present is present. And look, how do you want to show up every day? I talk about this constantly. Look, it's so easy. The narrative that you just articulated, Clay, it's easy to slip into that. I mean, I personally, and when you talked about the amount of time people spend in their faces on their phones surfing social media, look, you talk about unproductive time. I mean, look, it's easy. It's almost literally these phones, you can get addicted to them, chasing it, but it's unproductive. So discipline, accountability are 2 of the most important components of success. Without discipline, you don't hold yourself accountable. So you got to really self-reflect. How do I want to show up every day? What are the KPIs? What are the things that I want to do in my life that's going to get me to this place of financial freedom? Hey, look, I hate always talking about financial freedom, but you know what? When I talk to people, you'd be amazed at the amount of people that equate wealth with happiness. And look, I get it. I was one of those guys. And I can tell you, money can't buy you happiness. As cliche as that is, that's why the other side of it, look, discipline, accountability, that's great, because without that, you won't find your way to success, financial success, number 1. But then number 2, the other side of this coin is balance. Okay? How's your family? How's your faith? How's your friends? How's your business? I mean, it's a 4-legged stool. So what are those 4 areas? And you got to have balance. If you're constantly chasing one thing and your family's falling through the cracks, shame on you, because life, it's not a dress rehearsal. So focus on the material things, and every one of those buckets need to be paid attention to. It's important.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, because when someone buys a Nautical Bowls franchise, I would argue that you're going to give people mentorship beyond just how to make Nautical Bowls. I would argue that's something that you do. It's mentorship that's beyond just, this is how we make money. This is how we're making money. This is how he's making money. This is how we make the money. This is how you actually get in there and sit down with the franchisees and help them have a great life. Can you talk about that real quick? If someone goes to NauticalBowls.com and they invest the time to learn more about it, what kind of a mentorship do you give franchisees at NauticalBowls.com?
You know what, Clay, believe it or not, and because when people buy a franchise, every one of my franchisees has my personal cell number. You talk about what a dangerous slippery slope that is, but I do it. I do because I want to be present for them. And you know what I appreciate is when I give franchisees my personal cell number and they want to call and they want to talk, they want to bounce something off me. Look, maybe it comes from humility. Maybe it comes from being the youngest of 7 kids, growing up poor, going to school in a 2-room schoolhouse, that I just love the idea of helping people find their way. Look, and as long as they're respectful and they're not asking me to block off an hour of my time, look, I take those calls. I visit with them. I share with them real life experiences. And that's above and beyond Nautical Bowls. That's just about mentoring people in life. Look, Nautical Bowls, it's a great concept. It's a simple business, not a lot of moving parts. I find pride in that piece of it. But at the end of the day, it's not a laundromat. You don't go in there once a week, empty the coin machines, and then go back to golfing and fishing. Like any business, treat it with respect, work it, lean in, and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to be successful. But if you don't do the lifting, it's not going to happen. I'm going to make it really simple for you. And then, the other side of it is when you have success, how do you show up? How do you pay it forward? How do you pull people along in the backdraft of your success? Because that's accountability as well in my book.
Now, if a lot of our listeners, listen from all over the country, and I talked to a guy the other day, true story, and he says to me, "Hey, I've heard that show about Nautical Bowls." He lives in Tulsa. If he wants to buy one in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now, and he just, he's a guy kind of in between jobs right now, has saved up a decent amount of money, and he's in his 50s. One, in his particular case, do you have something available in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Or B, what does someone like need to do? What kind of cash up front does someone need to have to buy a Nautical Bowls franchise?
Well, first of all, anyone that's interested, just go to nauticalbowls.com and click on franchise opportunities. We're going to ask you a few basic questions, and one of our team will reach out to you. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two, to get into this business, it requires about $100,000 cash. $100,000 cash, and then you're going to get a loan that we provide. We have financing available. The loan is about $150,000 to $200,000. So all in on these businesses, they cost about $300,000 to $350,000, of which you're coming to the table with $100,000. Look, I know it sounds like a lot of money, but that is not a lot of money to get into a business of this stature. Just take it for what it's worth. This is a real business, okay? This is a real business with real moving parts. We make it affordable. We make it easy for you to get into it, but it is work, and we stand behind you. We have financing available for you. We finance it for up to 10 years. No penalty for early payoff. We love helping people find their way down their path of, like I said earlier, what financial freedom looks like through your lens. And this, Clay, better than anyone. As an entrepreneur, there's nothing more rewarding than being your own boss and having that financial freedom. It doesn't mean being your own boss doesn't mean that you are not working, that you work 10 hours a week. Look, being your own boss early on, it's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. If you get it, if you really get it, what does it mean being an entrepreneur? When you're in those early stages, it means that I'm not afraid to give it whatever it needs of me. I'm committed. Okay. And if I lined up all of my successful entrepreneurs, not talking trust fund babies, talking about people with real grit, who've been through the trenches, that have the road rash and stories to share. Look, it's that grit. It's those character building moments that make you who you are. And there's nothing more rewarding when you fight your way through that and come out the other side with a thriving business, employing people and making the call for yourself. There's nothing more rewarding than that.
Peter, you are absolutely an American treasure, and I encourage everybody to learn more by going to nauticalbowls.com. That's nauticalbowls.com. Hope you have a great holiday there, sir, and I'll harass you here next week, but have a great time in Miami. Are you doing anything fun for the holiday, for Thanksgiving? Are you going to kill a turkey in the living room, or what's your plan?
No, you know what? I'm taking my fiance and I are taking her kids out on my boat. We're going to go to a place called Ocean Reef. So we're going to spend a few days on the yacht. It's going to be fun.
Ocean Reef and beyond with Peter Taunton, sir. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You're the best. Have a nice Thanksgiving, brother. Take
Take
care.
care. Bye. Well, Thrive Nation, we here at the Thrivetime Show, what we do is we help business owners to grow their businesses. The purpose is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And we've had a long time client that we've worked with, and this is sort of like our exit interview because he's actually exited the business, and so he's at the other end of the rainbow, or he got to the top of the mountain, or he hit his big goal. And I'm honored to call him a friend and a longtime client. Tim Whaley, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing outstanding, Clay. Thank you for having me on.
Can you tell everybody, how did you first hear about what we do in terms of business coaching?
I first heard of you through your podcast, actually. So I started listening, was very intrigued. Actually, you had built and sold businesses in the industry that I was in. So it seemed like a natural fit to inquire about coaching.
Yeah.
And, once we connected and you did your, I'm not sure if it was an onboarding interview or it was more of you were going to determine whether or not we were a good fit. I think that was it. But once we did that, I was hooked and was really hoping that you would take me on as a client, which you did.
Now, before I met you, I mean, you'd been in business for a long time, and one would say you were probably the dominant resource or one of the top providers in your industry before we even met. Could you tell the listeners how implementing the Dream 100 system impacted your business growth?
Oh my gosh! So within just a few short years, it doubled our revenue, plain and simple. So Dream 100 was by far the secret sauce for our success, and really the reason why I was able to exit my business ahead of schedule. So just a brilliant program, makes total sense. As a company, it's one of the few marketing / advertising outlets that you have total control over. It's not like you're on, Facebook, which owns Facebook, or Google, which owns Google. But I mean, you own the system, you make it work, and great things happen.
Now, with the Dream 100, you have to identify the vendors that you want to refer you, or the prospects that you want to refer. You have to identify the ideal and likely buyers that you want to refer you, and then you have to reach out to them consistently. And you guys have done a phenomenal job at doing that. What were a couple of the challenges of persistently reaching out to people to get them to refer you guys business?
Well, a couple things. One, you just really have to find the right fit. You have to find the right employee or employees. Because really, when you're going out there, you need somebody who's obviously great at building relationships. And that's a lot of different people. But what I found is you also just need a hunter killer. So it's not necessarily somebody who's very personable and great with people, but somebody with those qualities, but also just has like I said, a hunter killer, just has a drive to bring business in. And you find that person and they just make it happen. And we were fortunate enough to find a couple great employees who were just very good at that.
And now that you have sold the business, you're going to stay on as an advisor to make sure that the brand is successful and that sort of thing. What does it feel like to be on the other side of the rainbow, or to be at the top of the mountain, or to be on the other side of selling a business that you started so many years ago?
Well, Clay, it's only been 6 weeks. So obviously some mixed feelings there. But if I had to put it in one word, I would have to say freedom.
Okay. Yeah.
So it feels pretty darn good. And my wife and I are very excited. Now, obviously we're still, we're still helping the new ownership transition and whatnot. So there's stuff we're doing and stuff to be done. But overall, it's, when you've been hitting it hard for 33 years, and then all of a sudden you don't have to, it feels pretty darn good. Not going to lie.
Now, Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I recently interviewed him, and he had me on his show, and it's been kind of fun to connect with this guy who wrote the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, and it's just fun to connect with him. And he's been talking borderline obsessively on his show recently about it's not what people say, it's what they do. You need to watch what people do, not what they say. And I think a big thing about having a business coach or a personal trainer, if you're into fitness, is if you're into fitness, you need to have a nutritional plan. You need to have a workout plan, and then you need someone to hold you accountable. And if you're a business owner, you need to have a business plan. You need to have weekly actions that you need to implement, and then you need to have some accountability. How has having a business consultant or a coach to guide you down the path, how has that impacted you?
Tremendously. So there's a running joke between my wife and I. I will often say I'm the most consistently inconsistent person you want to meet. So historically, I've been the guy who starts this, goes for a little while, and then, sees I'm like a squirrel, right? I see the next great thing, and I'll go after that for a while. And then, so I'm an artist, right? I'm a photographer first, and business guy second, I guess. So you have helped corral my artist brain, and having the weekly accountability calls and the action plan has definitely helped me stay focused on what needs to be focused on. So yeah, it's been life changing. Nothing short of life changing.
Now I want to pull up something real quick and get your thoughts on this, because you and I have worked together, I think, for what was that, 3 years, or was it how long did we work together there before you exited the business? Do you know?
We started in 2019.
So 2019. Okay. So we've worked together for quite a while there. And, so 2019, wow. So that's almost 5 years, 4.5 years or so. But if we do a search for carpet cleaning quotes, I've worked with one particular brand for 14 years, I think almost 15 now, and they have 271,000 Google reviews. So for 14 consecutive years, I've been talking to the same ownership about, you have to gather objective Google reviews from your ideal and likely buyers. You have to get reviews. After you clean the carpet, you have to gather video reviews and Google reviews. And we talk about it every week. And it's just like it's like bamboo. I keep coming back every week. You can't kill it. I come back every week talking about the reviews. And in a world now where people go online to look stuff up, this has been a powerful tool for oxyfresh.com. It's grown from a handful of locations now to 500 plus locations. How has gathering objective Google reviews and video reviews impacted your sales process?
Well, I feel it's a 1-2 punch, Clay. So Dream 100 and the reviews work hand in hand. So the majority of our business comes from the Dream 100, but that's one referral source. So our couples will be referred by venues, but they want to check us out. So they're going to go online and look for our reviews. So not only do you have to have a ton of reviews, but you have to have a ton of 5-star reviews, and so the referrals plus the social proof on Google brings them in.
Final questions I have for you, then I'll be done harassing you here, is, you now have got all the systems, the scripts, the website, the ads that work, the Dream 100 system going. And so to give people some clarity, you now have a turnkey marketing system in place. I mean, you have a Dream 100 system that works. You now have an online advertising program that works. You now have a sales process that works. It's all documented and it's all systemized for the new owner. So what would you say for anybody out there that is maybe thinking about coming to one of our in-person workshops or scheduling a free 13-point assessment with myself or a member of our team? What would you say to somebody who's kind of on the fence about maybe coming to a workshop or scheduling a free 13-point assessment?
Get off the fence. Just get off the fence. Bottom line. You've helped make my company sellable, right? So those systems is exactly what made our company attractive to the buyer. They were looking for a company that was highly successful, that they could then take and scale.
Yep.
And our business qualified because of what we've done over the last 5 years. And so yeah, I would not hesitate. I've told anybody who's ever asked me about my coaching relationship with you and your organization, I said I wouldn't hesitate. Never in a million years. You have literally changed my life as a result of what you've taught me.
You know, you've got to come to Tulsa one of these days here. So I know you guys are going to enjoy your retirement or whatever it is you're doing. But at some point, if you ever get the bug and you ever start a new thing, or you ever in the Tulsa area, I really want to see you guys. And you have my cell phone number. We can talk whenever. But I want to tell you, it's been an honor working with you, and it's been so exciting to help you hit your goals. And I know you've worked 30 plus years to go on this dream vacation lifestyle that you've built. What would you say to anybody out there that has a business and they feel, my final question for you, they feel overwhelmed by all the systems they have to build, and they're not at the top of the mountain. They haven't sold the business yet. It isn't systemized, and all they see is perpetual chaos. What would you say to that person?
Just take the next step, right? Every journey begins with the next step. And that next step should definitely be contacting you guys.
Tim,
if they just do that, the rest will take care of itself. You make sure of that. So,
Tim, it's an honor serving you again. I appreciate you very much. And don't be a stranger there, sir.
You got it. Thank you, Clay.
Take care, Chief. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
Whoa. The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops, because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specifics steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.